So once again, we're given a standard form of a horizontal parabola and we're asked to graph it using properties. So let's start with our leading coefficient as always. Remember, we are looking at the form x equals a times y minus k squared plus h, where hk is the vertex. So a in this case is -4. Since that's less than 0, we know the parabola is going to open to the left. Our vertex is hk, which in this case is 4. And be careful, it's y minus k, so it's y minus -2 would give us y plus 2. So the vertex is at 4, -2. That means the axis of symmetry is at y equals -2. So we're at 4, -2, and it opens to the left. So we are going to have x and y intercepts. So let's go ahead and find our x-intercept or intercepts when we get to y. With the x-intercept, we know that there's only going to be one intercept because it can't go both directions. So with our x-intercept, that's when y equals 0. So x equals -4 times 0 plus 2 squared plus 4. 0 plus 2 is 2 squared is 4 times -4 is -16 plus 4, which equals -12. So we know our x-intercept is at -12, 0. Y-intercepts, that's when x equals 0. So -4 times y plus 2 squared plus 4 equals 0. Subtract 4 from both sides, we get -4 times y plus 2 squared equals -4. Divide both sides by -4, and we get y plus 2 squared equals 1. And then when we take the square root of both sides, we get y plus 2 equals plus or minus the square root of 1, which is just 1. So y equals -2 plus or minus 1. So y equals -2 minus 1 is going to be -3, or y equals -2 plus 1, which is going to be -1. So our y-intercepts are at 0, -3, and 0, -1. Now, since we have this x-intercept of -12, 0, let's go ahead and make a scale in the horizontal direction of 2. We'll go ahead and keep it in the vertical direction with each one being 1, each square being representing 1 square unit. So let's go ahead and plot our points that we've gotten. We know our vertex is at 4, -2. So 2, 4, -2. We know it opens to the left. Our axis of symmetry is at y equals -2. So we'll go ahead and draw that in. So we can get an extra point when we get our when we graph our x-intercept. So our y-intercepts are at 0, -3, and 0, -1. Our x-intercept is at -12, 0. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, -12, 0, which means there's also a point at 1, 2 from the axis of symmetry. So 1, 2 on the other side of the axis of symmetry. That gives us another point at -12, -4. And then last but not least, we connect our dots to get our parabola that opens to the left. Remember, we start by looking at what direction is going to open based on what the leading coefficient is, what the sign of the leading coefficient is. We find the vertex that's just part of the standard form, hk, in a times y minus k squared plus h. That also gives us the axis of symmetry, and then we found our intercepts to go ahead and complete the process of finding some points that are on the graph using properties. Then connect all the dots and indicate our behavior with arrows in order to graph the parabola.